There are many things that go into my design process when actually approaching a new design character, whether it be for production or my own personal work, whether it be for some sort of output with a sculpture or a 3D form. Um, and as a designer, many people think it's always about playing with shape and trying to find an appealing silhouette. And although that's very true, I usually start with the story. I start with the story of the character. Who is this character? What do they mean? What are they trying to do? Because after you're all designing the who, and not the what. If let's say you're designing a lion, that's the what. But who is this lion? Is he timid? Is he brave? Is he shallow? Is he inferior? Is he cynical? So just to kind of understand this process, kind of take you through a few steps. So for instance, I'm thinking of a lion right here, and not just any lion, a lion that is actually very proud and smug. Okay, so immediately that's going to affect my pose. All right, so I'm actually going to go ahead and tilt his head up. He's got a certain amount of pride. And just staying loose throughout the initial lay-ins, keeping his head up, right? His ears are back, right? And actually even kind of shut his eyes slightly as well. See, just by putting that brow that way, there's a certain air, to his expression, to his lofty attitude. Right? So immediately you kind of get a sense of who this guy is, who this character is, right? That's one thing that I really pride myself in terms of my brand as an illustrator and as a designer, is a sense of story, a sense of attitude, a sense of personality. And from this pose, his legs would be tucked under him as he's sitting, right? And then everything and every actual line and form, shape, and detail is all relative. It all reinforces this attitude. Maybe his nose is a little sharper. So he's a little bit more of a like, I guess, more of a confident character, right? It's a little more dynamic. So his nose is a little pointy at the edge. And actually, we're going to kind of push the dimensions here a little bit, keep the ear a little closer, right? So that way I can break up the space in between, not make it so even between the locations of the features. You always want to push for asymmetry. There's a lot really that goes into design, but for this demonstration and just to kind of this sharing of my approach, I'm really focusing on the story of the character. That really is what comes down to. And I start to build my forms from there and start to think sculpturally. Because working mostly in a 3D environment with what I do professionally, I have to think about how it's going to translate into a fully realized three-dimensional character. And although I keep the silhouette very simple and graphic, I want to be able to, I want to have my audience, being my directors, executives, are able to easily understand how it's going to translate into three-dimensional form, right? So I'm drawing around the form here with the main, right? So you can feel how it kind of goes around the form, right? And you just see how I kind of kept that whole attitude. That's what I was really focused on the whole time. Keeping it very square on the top, more round on the bottom. Keeping it square on top shows a stronger character. Keeping it round on the bottom shows that there's a little bit of age. He's starting to soften in certain areas, but that's how he's, you know, come to kind of have this kind of attitude, this kind of certain air about him. So if you see, as I create a shape language, I'm really seeing how that shape language is reinforcing the narrative of the story. Okay, so as I kind of go through this, I go through the process and this journey, I'm actually inventing, and I would say inventing, but developing a story around that basic idea of a very kind of smug, but yes, yet proud, um, confident, and attitude-driven subject. Really feeling that there's actually a ball in there. Um, that's what I'm doing here, as I kind of going over the eye right here, is to feel that there's really ball in that skull. Right, it's not a flat dinner plate. Okay, and that's where I'm going to stop it here for now. But hope you like getting a little bit of insight into my process and just one of my many varied approaches. Thanks.